Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of the See Right Through podcast. I got my brother Austin, my brother Reggie. You already know the deal. You know how we roll. I'm gonna give them the floor to they could, open up a little bit. But we got a little presentation for you guys. I had Austin because Austin is just getting into the knowledge, so I had him send me a couple questions, and I did a quick presentation. So we could just break down a few things, and we're going to talk about how to move forward when talking about these subjects. So Austin, go ahead, open up.
Austin here. Good to be back. More learning, more power, more light. And just here to learn, like always.
It'll be a present some information, Reggie.
I go with my brothers and sisters about that, man. You already know. We back at it again. Like he said today, we got a little bit of a presentation for them. Just like show you that. And like
What's the topic? Tell them the topic, Reggie.
Our relationship with the Abrahamic traditions.
Yeah, so essentially we're going to be, just touching on how we got this religion, our people today, how we got these...
Wait, before you get into it, explain the Abrahamic part, how you were explaining before we began.
So when we say the Abrahamic traditions, we're talking about Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Because these three traditions are predicated on the fact that, Abraham lived and, he's the progenitor of these traditions. So, before we even start, do we want to touch on, anything about these religions that we,
Well, we grew up believing in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so people don't get. A lot of people don't understand that we were in that boat. We were really in that boat.
For real.
And even starting when I became quote unquote conscious, and we first start studying, you start to think, oh no, that because I'm not a believer that Jesus was a historical person. I believe that the argument, there's a lack of evidence, and a lot of it is circumstantial when you do the research. So we could do a lecture on that in the future, but when you look into these things and you're first getting into it, we were saying, oh, Jesus was a black man. He was just this, but even if you make Jesus a black man, it doesn't, help us today in this situation that we're in. But
Lord baby Jesus and the black one too.
Let's see. That's. So hold on, let me make us a bit. No, it's fine then. So this is how it starts. This is our symbol. That's the Kebra symbol. That's an E-bomb.
And there was an idiot once out there that said that looked like a Nazi fucking symbol.
Yeah,
please,
that our flag
in the comments,
like,
please, if you think that should look like a fucking
they crazy
Nazi symbol, please.
But yeah, we have
but
a
that
presentation.
should look nothing like a Nazi symbol.
We have presentation by us, and this I wanted to start here. I put this picture here because that's Elmina enslavement dungeon. I call it a dungeon. They call it a castle. Europeans called this building a castle, and the building you're seeing right there, that's the church.
So it's like a prison to me.
Yeah, that's what it was. But that's the way they like to flip things. This is in Ghana, West Africa. This is where they would bring our ancestors before they put them on the slave ships, on the enslavement ships.
And these are the cells, right, all around?
Yeah, and there's rooms. There's rooms where, like the man's room. There's a
first of all, it's a
presentation church. Jabari did. I'm gonna link that one in the description.
It's a so-called church.
Yeah, that's where the Portuguese would pray.
With jail cells.
So the man's cell, the entrance has a slope. So, if a bunch of men try to charge at it, they lose momentum because they start going up.
Of course.
So it's at a slope, and it's dark. The room is dark. Like, no windows, no nothing. And they literally shit where they ate. You see when people be like, don't shit where you eat? Like, they were literally doing that. They had to do that. They would put them in rooms that people would die, and the body would stay next to them.
For months.
Yeah, for up to months, because they would, when the European decided to come back, they said that they would drill holes. Not drill, but like like break holes
Mhm.
into the cell, so they could see if like what's going on, and that the stench was like horrendous. Like these are in their writings. But let's go to the next slide. Which first because since we're dealing with this, I know there's gonna be a lot of people that talk about Nat Turner and them Marvisi, and ancestors that we should have a lot of respect for and reverence for, and we should hold to a high standard and a high degree. So they bring these great ancestors up, and they say, oh, they use the Bible to free themselves and to do stuff. And I would argue, like it says here, like this is how powerful this enslavement rebellion was. Nat Turner's rebellion put an end to the white Southern myth that slaves were either contented with their lot, or too servile to mount an armed revolt. So they're pretty much saying that, like, it was so powerful that lie that slaves are lazy, and that they liked it, and they didn't want to be free because they liked to be in that position. He cut that out. Like there was no more of that after his revolution, after the rebellion that he put forward. So, and he used the Bible to push to gather people and to unite the people. But I tell them this: look at this African proverb. One does not use a boat to cross a river and then hoist it on your back to climb a mountain. Meaning, yes, he may have used the Bible as an instrument and a tool to win that battle, but it's not needed anymore. We shouldn't be put in that position to have to use that book anymore.
What year was he in? What time period?
He was born October 2nd, 1800, and he died November 11th, 1831.
Look at this, man. He's like my uncle.
We don't even gotta go there yet with the whole, especially with Dominicans and that argument, and that's only here. I because you guys travel to the island, and if you ask a brother over there, yo, what race are you? They tell you, yo soy un negro, I'm black. They don't hesitate to tell you that. But that's here that they go, I'm not black, I'm Dominican.
Yeah, for some reason the Dominicans that reach here wanna disassociate themselves with their actual heritage.
Yeah, with their ancestry.
Yeah.
Like first of all, Dominican is an ethnicity. Our people get that confused a lot: nationality, ethnicity, and race. Because we're black racially, our race is black, but our ethnicity, our ethnic background is a Dominican ethnic background. That's the island. We're we're of African descent.
Our
through
DNA
that,
buildup
is through that island that it comes from.
Our DNA is African.
Yeah.
No matter what
Most,
way you want
most
to
of
put
our
it.
DNA, that's what it's gonna come up to. But yeah, this is a great ancestor who used the book to his advantage. And that's what we said even in the last because I believe this is gonna go up right after the one that we recorded. So knowing this, that he used that as a tool, and it got him, free. He did a lot of things for our people. We should have reverence for him.
Harry also did.
They called her
tool.
Moses.
Yeah, that was her main.
They called her
that
Moses.
was her. The engine that kept that train going was
and
that
that's
book.
okay, bro. And it's like we were saying, if you use that to make yourself a better person, by all means. However, there's a point where we have to acknowledge, the history.
Yeah, of course.
And know where it comes from. I'm not saying don't believe, but deal with knowledge also. Deal with the facts. So this is why I say, before I even read the quote from Dr. Ben, if you want to be a Christian, especially a Christian of African descent, we must re-Africanize the tradition. Meaning all the misogyny that's in the book, all the craziness that's in the book, that is not from our people or knowledgeable for our people that will help us move forward, we need to get rid of it. The Bible was edited already. Why is it so bad that we do so?
And another question I was asking you earlier too. I said, like, from so far from all the things we found, has there been any proof that we like
Cannibalized and
cannibalized or
the human
sacrifice?
sacrifice.
Yeah, human
Yeah, and
sacrifices.
I said no.
And
That's not a thing that
It's
we
insane,
did.
and across the Mayan cultures everywhere.
All the evidence that shows cannibalism is in Europe. Because why would you have it? Just use logic for a second. When Mother Nature, you live in a hot climate, you live in a beautiful space, and Mother Nature gives you fruits and vegetables and all these things. Why you gotta revert to eating people?
I mean, not just
Maybe in the
not,
cold.
Listen, not just about eating people, just human sacrifice
Yeah,
in general
doing stuff
for
like that
for
religious reasons.
yeah,
for
for like Abraham was about to fucking kill his son in the book
bro. Listen,
until
we don't even got. Matter of fact, let's touch on it real quick.
You see?
Because God pull up to you, God speak to you, and He goes, "Yo, I want you to kill your son,
no.
just to show me that you love me more."
I can't. I will never be tested at the limit like that.
That's crazy. And how is that African? That's it's not.
So that was
It's not.
that's a big major thing too.
But yeah, it goes to the point of re-Africanizing the tradition, because it's like Dr. Ben said. It's like you're gonna hear Brother Jabari say it also. You have to take the shackles off your mind, because we're free. We're physically free, but there's a lot of our people who are still mentally enslaved.
Which was their whole goal.
I mean, yeah.
To be honest, it's like in their mind, the best way to control them is by having them think they're not controlled.
Yeah, bro.
But if you're already
let 'em hear.
influencing even to who I pray to, that says enough for me. That says enough for me. They're everywhere, in your food, in your belief system, in your doctors, from everything.
Bro,
they're
currently we're in Austin's house right now recording this podcast. If I go to his kitchen right now, there's a picture of a white man there, and they call him Jesus Christ. But is it his mom's fault? My aunt, is it her fault? That she was indoctrinated into that? That's not her fault, because her parents didn't know better, and she didn't have access to that information. But we must be better, Look at what Dr. Ben says. Reggie, do you want to say anything before I read Dr. Ben?
No, and wait, before you even begin, Reggie, you can bring it up to our parents too, and it's so crazy. It's so mind blowing to them that they'll just completely shut it out.
Yeah.
The fact that we might be right and they might be wrong
Well, it's not
for their
it's
whole
not
entire
might.
life. It's not might, yeah, but
It's that we are right. But
Yeah,
they're
yeah, you
just
know what I
so,
mean.
It's the mental enslavement, bro.
The
They're
fact-
so mentally enslaved they
Listen.
can't grasp the concept that
Exactly. The fact that we're breaking
the
basically that what they think is reality all their entire life is what is so shocking to them. Like I've said this before to other people. Like there's some people they need rules and they look at this
You
book.
told me that before.
Yeah, like they need that book to like they can't even function without reading
And-
a page or two
And
from
that's
it daily.
okay. No one tells them they can't, but that's the thing. They just don't like it to be challenged.
Because they're not allowed to be who they really are.
Yeah, but when you say, look, if this makes you better, by all means, but don't like be ignorant about the truth and about what's really going on.
Yeah.
Don't
Nah, it's true, man. Like, at the end of the day, you can't just like go around and start, like jacking things. Like you gotta know the history behind it, the background. You gotta get everything, the facts, because at the end of the day, like you said, they never had access to none of this. So it's like you can't expect them to know what exactly happened during that time. If you don't got nothing to like back it up or make it clear for people, like they're not gonna understand it, because so then that's mind blowing.
because they don't have stuff that helps them make the argument.
Exactly.
Jabari says it the most when he's debating people, that they just make the worst arguments because they try to use the Bible as a basis for the argument, and when you do that, things get very, very like tricky.
Yeah. for sure.
Let me read this quote though. This is from Our Black Seminarians and Black Clergy Without a Black Theology: The Tragedy of Black People / Africans in Religion Today, 1978. This is page 43. It is at this juncture that we can clearly see the total dependency of the so-called black Christians and black Muslims on the Holy Scriptures written and referenced by white and brown peoples from Europe, European America, and Asia, who do not in any matter, shape, or form identify with black people on the same racial and or ethnic criteria. For not even one solitary page shows a solitary black man, woman, or child's black theology. The answer for the black man to return to his black family who still remains in the Negro-colored church rests squarely in the gut bowels of his own black theology, which he must create and develop. What is Dr. Ben saying? The same thing that we say, re-Africanize the tradition or develop a new tradition that is based on the African principles that we have.
That is gonna benefit us at the end of the day, like you said, because when you look at Jesus, what you looking at? You looking at a white man, bro. So it's like your self-esteem is already being dropped.
Yeah, being lowered because they're putting the standard of the divine with the standard of the white man.
Exactly.
Fuck that nigga.
No,
That shit is crazy, bro. It's insane,
true, bro. But don't use the N-word on the platform.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, bro. But it's just but I felt that, bro, because it's passion, bro.
Yeah.
It's like
For real, bro.
It's like it's so much misinformation that's been placed upon our people, and that's why me and Reggie always say we're being attacked by so many different angles that it's tough when you just attack one. It's not always easy to just attack that one, because to deal with one you got to deal with the other.
Mm-hmm.
To deal with the other one you got to deal with another. So it's difficult, But let's listen to what Jabari says.
Bro, for those strong believers out there.
Allowed us to break our chains. They've only done that because they recognize that they place chains in a more secure place. Chains on your soul. Chains on your minds. And so what we must do now is we must be about liberating ourselves from our spiritual, our intellectual, our emotional shackles. That's what this is about. That's what our dear brother Muhammad Ali was trying to talk about.
He says it the best, bro. We have to be able to move forward without, being so emotionally attached to these concepts and to these things. Now, once again, we were in that boat. But we went on a certain journey.
And that's the perfect word you use to explain it. So emotionally attached.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because humans are driven by emotion. So once you're attacking them through that side, it's very hard to get to them.
Bro, Shaka said it the best. Shaka said, our people have a Bible psychosis. It's a
like
mental
Stockholm
illness.
syndrome.
Yeah, it's a mental illness that they're everything they do and stuff is predicated on that book.
The Stockholm syndrome. We're obsessed with our so-called savior that enslaved us.
Bro, but speaking, look, you see how Dr. Ben spoke about right here. The answer for the black man to return to his own black family, to his black family who still remains in the Negro-colored church, rests squarely in the gut bowels of his own black theology, which he must create and develop.
The black man.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Right here. This is where it comes from, bro. On the left right here, you're seeing Offset and Heru. Then you're seeing a version that, the Pope prays to. I don't know if this one is in Poland or in the Vatican.
In Poland?
But you can clearly see, that that you can clearly see the, what's it called? Yeah, the reference right here. You could clearly see where they're getting it from. And then you have the way after version, which is the white man depicting his own version. And this is what Dr. Ben said, because these stories, bro. Before I even play the clip, these stories is a lot of symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
So the narrative, I put the question up here. Where did this narrative first originate? You could see in on the walls of Kemet, Egypt, for the sake of conversation. You can see where Isis has a virgin birth. You could see it. And then we have Asar being the first resurrected deity who allows us to go into that, who allows us to get life after death. It's things like that. But look at what Dr. Ben says.
The black Madonna and child. Where is the black Madonna and child? There she is sitting in the audience. There she is. Any black woman out there with a child is a black Madonna. But no, how could it be a black Madonna when you beat her like a drum? You walk off and desert her with her baby child. You desert her when you get $1 as soon as you could throw a basketball knee-high to a grasshopper and run across the airport at Hertz with a suitcase and call yourself Herschel Walker. You can't find her no more. When you garrote her behind the trees and in the backyards and in the alleys, she's a good black Madonna. But as soon as you get a buck or a name where you hit the numbers, then you can't get her because you want somebody commensurate with your dignity on stalkers.
So, Black Madonna. That's what you say, right? That's Black Queen.
That's just like it's just what they call them, the black, cause Madonna's like a Madonna, like I don't know how to explain it, bro.
Like
but
a goddess?
Yeah, like she's the
deity.
Black Madonna, yeah, the deity,
Like
But that's the status we placed that black woman on. We've always done that. That's why Isis in Kemet, the symbol for her is a throne, because we knew that the first throne you sit on is your mother's lap.
Yeah.
When you're getting suckled.
Yeah.
That's the first throne you sit on. And we put Goddess Snoop. Goddess Snoop is the universe. So that's the heavens. And Dr. Ben, this is Dr. Ben's words. There's a thing, and it says it's Goddess Shu holding her up. God Shu. And it's Geb is the earth. And it says God Shu holding Goddess Snoop in the two pillars of heaven. And what was he holding? One pillar on her breast. One hand on her breast and one hand on her, her vagina. Because those are the sacred, things. And it shows the sun going through her body. So she will swallow the sun at night and give birth to it in the morning.
Ah.
So let me see.
Understood.
I have a picture of it. Matter of fact, I could put it on the screen. Let's put it on the screen. Just quickly. Right here. You see it? That's her body. And you see the red dots?
Yeah.
That's the sun passing through.
Through the day.
I see.
But yeah, bro, there's different, this is where the story comes from. There's a lot of things in the book that come verbatim from Egypt. There's Kemetic text in the Bible. Are we saying you should take that out? No. Use the wisdom in it. But are you going to use the fact that I suffer not a woman to teach? Are we going to continue to because they don't read that to our people on Sunday. We're not dumb. They don't read that because they wouldn't come back the next Sunday if they read that stupid stuff.
Oh man, that's insane. And do you see how much we praise women too? You see what's going on in I believe it's Israel. See how
I thought isn't it Iran that they were burning the
somewhere out there in the Middle East. I'm not sure.
they were
don't quote
protesting
me
and
on it.
stuff about
But yeah, the girl
it's
they killed
Muslim.
for not wearing
that
the
is
hijab.
and that isn't that the most in the society we live in today that is so anti-misogyny. Islam is one of the most misogynistic like religions there is. They don't allow women to show their hair. They don't allow women to pretty much do anything. And I'm not saying all Muslims because I know there's different type of sects. There's the Sunni, and you know, there's different sects. And I'm not saying that they do that in Africa, but we can't deny that they use the same book. They're using the same principles, and people say, oh, it's all about interpretation. But if I read, I suffer a woman not to teach, what other way is there to interpret that?
Mm-hmm. Listen, if they treated that girl like that, I could only imagine what they'll do to their own mother.
Their
To
own
their
sister.
It's disgusting what's going on out there. And I love that video of that girl that she just threw her hijab into the fire and she just started
Yeah, you gotta-
twirling. That
and
shit was
listen,
so powerful. That shit was insane.
At the end of the day, I say I don't care because that's their problem. We have enough on our plate. I understand what you're saying though, but that's like people don't talk about that. They put it on the news and they don't twist it no type of way. But we have our communities that have literally been destroyed by these people, and we got no type
Listen,
of
right now the
sympathy.
news ain't running shit. To be
Not that
honest,
we want sympathy though. I don't want no sympathy from nobody. I just want us to be left alone to our own accord so that we're able to build accordingly.
I
That's
know-
what kept
okay.
Ross doing, setting a foundation for a nation, bro.
Be independent.
I believe we got one more slide though, and this is just bookmark. Hold on, why it's not? Oh, there you go. Okay. I just wanted to bring up the Haitian Revolution.
that dude is brolic.
Yeah, Boukman, I believe he was an Akan, from the Akan people. He was born in Senegal, in Senegambia, which is Senegal and Gambia. You know, like
Senegalese.
Yeah, and it was him, Cecile Fatima, Defile, Jem Salim, and even Toussaint was in the Bourgeois Saint.
You know their names?
Yeah,
Yeah. Haitian leaders, bro.
yeah, those are the Haitian greats, bro. Henry Christophe. Yeah, there's.
You see
there's a
what
lot.
you see where the Haitians get the 1804 thing? It's from that, from the revolution.
Yeah,
that
that's,
happened.
that was the year that it happened. That's when they liberated the whole island. That's why what we were touching on last time. The Dominicans talking about they enslaved them when the whole island got liberated.
They
Yeah,
try
no,
to-
I said that in the last podcast too. Like they set y'all free from the Spanish.
Bro, 1,800 plantations.
the
were
Spaniards
destroyed.
and French. The Spaniards and the French.
And it wasn't long ago. Like, what the fuck is going on with?
Yeah, that was
with
bro.
these
That was
Dominican people.
200 years ago.
That was like 4 people ago, 3 people
Exactly.
ago.
Well, exactly what we said. You
My
see?
great grandfather was born in 1917, dog. Now that's 3 generations.
3 people ago.
Give it 4 or 5 people. They were there. They witnessed that.
Come on now. Y'all forget that quick?
But then
But
again,
Kim is over here trending.
it's like we touched on last time. I so remember the video. The Queen said that it was white supremacy. The worst thing they did was give us flags.
Yeah,
That divided us.
I agree with that video.
But it's even a language thing, because it's different cultures. But even though they're similar, and
Listen,
listen, hold
humans
on.
They don't
fighting
get,
humans.
No. What they don't
If
get is
Humans
hold on,
fighting
hold on.
humans.
What,
Real quick,
go ahead.
humans fighting humans. Well, that shit, it will always exist.
Yeah.
We're not over here fucking preaching peace.
Yeah,
I know reality. Everybody knows reality. There will always be war amongst humans. God damn it, it happens amongst animals. You don't see a lion when he comes in and he tries to take another lion's pride.
Mhm.
He will kill that lion's offsprings so that his bloodline won't continue. So it's all throughout nature.
Bro, Olayinka
You know what I mean?
Company, Olayinka Vitamin Distributor. Follow that page on Instagram. That dude is real. He said it himself. Find me one time in history where love conquered hate.
Romeo died
Find
for
me-
love.
Find me one
And
place
Julia.
in history where they was like, oh, you know what, come on, we're gonna love each other and we all gonna sing Kumbaya. It never happened. We need to have power.
Singing my
And
Lord,
power is not about money.
Kumbaya.
Money is a distribution of power. That's a way to distribute it. So if you have the power, you have a lot of money. You're able to influence things like that. But but yeah, talking about the boycott, the boycotting ceremony. This is when they came together, and that's why I say look at the Toussaint. Toussaint was a great general, honestly, but he was too much of a Frenchman. Right?
He loved them too much.
His master taught him French. When the revolution started, he went to his master. He freed them. He got them on a boat to France, made sure they were safe, and then started doing what they had to do.
But now, get to say what happened to him though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. In the ceremony, they're all doing, Book Mountain gives this speech. He says, "The God who created the earth, who created the sun that gives us light, the God who holds up the ocean, who makes the thunder roar, our God who has ears to hear, you who are hidden in the clouds, who watch us from where you are. You see all that the white man has made us suffer. The white man's God asks him to commit crimes, but the God within us wants to do good. Our God, who is good, so just, he orders us to revenge our wrongs. It's he who will direct our arms and bring us victory. It's he who will assist us. We should all throw away the image of the white man's God, who is so pitiless. Listen to the voice for liberty that speaks in all our hearts." And when they were doing this, they were all chanting and stuff. And he said this in Creole. So this is a translation, an interpolation. Transliteration. So when they were all doing that, guess what Toussaint was doing? The Santa Marias and all of that. He was saying that in French, the Catholic prayers, because he was a devout Catholic. And you know what happened to Toussaint? You know how Toussaint died? He died in a prison in France. In the mountains of France, he died, where they left him there. Because they said that they wanted to meet with him, because he was one of the leaders. And Toussaint, they had Toussaint's ear. So they were trying to, negotiate. And Dessalines told him, don't do it. If I was to do it, I'd go with 3,000 of my most cracked men. 300, of my most cracked men. And I'd say, let's say the time is 9 o'clock. I'd go in and I'd have them circle the place, and I go, if I'm not out in 30 minutes, burn it down. Kill them all.
And he went by himself?
He went by himself.
What a herb. They
made him wait 30 minutes. They were 30 minutes late. And when he got there, they put shackles on him. So took him on a boat, took him to France. That was the end of Toussaint Louverture.
How you gonna fall in love with your prisoners, basically? That's what it was. Another great example of Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, that's what it is, bro. Because they and look at this, because I've been watching a lot of Dr. Ballina Bello. And the way I internalize her information is, there was a lot of, we know there's a lot of great women during that revolution. But a lot of the men were trained by women. Toussaint was trained by a woman. Dessalines was trained by a woman. And they trained them to, do some... Bro, there were women who were able to grind glass. If you eat glass, you die.
Yeah.
They were able to grind glass so fine that it would slowly poison the slave master. They would slowly poison them. They would do stuff like that. Slowly poison. So even if they made you, if they didn't trust you and they go, oh, eat it, it wouldn't kill you. But over time, the amount, it would do stuff like that. That's the end of the presentation. We could
you imagine,
go back here.
Imagine glass building up in your intestines.
Yeah, that's
oh exactly my God.
Over time, yeah, that's exactly what was happening.
Yo, they had them. Oh my God, when they was shit, bro. Oh my God,
bro. But even
so smart.
I have me and Reggie did a presentation in Spanish. I gotta convert those slides into English. I gotta translate it, and add to them. But people don't know that there was a rebellion in quote unquote DR on the island in 1522. Africans got to that island, bro, in 1502. 20 years later, there was already rebellions formed. And there was before that, probably, that we don't even know about. But 1522, on Christmas Eve, I believe, they like attacked a plantation, like a residence. Yeah, it's like we've never stopped fighting, bro.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there that be saying that we just gave up. It
Yeah,
was
that
like,
we gave up, but we never stopped
we
fighting.
never stopped fighting.
Tahuti, shout out to my boy Jordan. Tahuti said that he talks to a queen, and she says like, oh, you know, nothing's gonna change. And I would have told her, yeah, with your mindset, you know, nothing is gonna fix for you because you don't want to do anything for yourself.
You don't want to see the change.
And these be the people who she said, and he told me she was a Christian, but their own book says God said, I will help those who help themselves. So if you don't help yourself, God ain't gonna help you.
Damn right. Damn right. Listen, I know somebody that this is their explanation for God. And I've joked around it with you. Literally, it's only a joke. But to that person, it was serious. He's like, some people need to learn how God works. Because if you ask God for a bike, and there's a delivery guy that's doing a delivery, and he leaves his bike untied, God sent you the bike. Now it's up to you what you gonna do. You gonna take the bike? Some people take this ideology. It's insane, bro. It's insane, bro.
It's like so now you're gonna get in trouble because you think that God sent you a bike. Now you're gonna, and listen, it's not everybody, but a lot of people. I spoke to a Mormon. That's another thing, all these different factions of Christians, but anyway, that's besides the point. I spoke to a Mormon, and he goes, yeah, God talks to me. I said, how he talks to you? He said, oh, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I get a tingling feeling in my back.
What was it that Mike Tyson said? My back is broken. Spinal,
bro, because I'm like, so you get so you talk to God, you go, yo, God, what's up? And you get a tingling in your back. Like, we gotta grow up, bro. And that was a whole white man, so I don't really take what they say with a grain of salt.
Oh, but tell them about the time that we was like, man, and like the Christians.
Yeah, that's why they come into our neighborhoods.
But you remember what he said about the?
They set up a prayer station. He comes to me and he asks me, well, he asks us.
Yeah.
What's the way to heaven? Do you know the way to heaven? I said, yeah, it's not that Bible. And he was like, why? And I'm like, because it's misogynistic. And they use that same tradition to enslave my ancestors. So why would I, just with that reason alone, I will not subscribe to that religion anymore. Because it's not for me. Now they're going to tell me, you enslaved my ancestors in the name of Jesus. You doing mass baptisms. You're lynching a group called the Good Christians, lynching black people. What I look like? They like, oh no, Jesus ain't white. I said, first of all, I could go to a church right there, 2 blocks from where we were at, and find a white Jesus hung up.
You know what he said? He was like that people practice homosexuality.
Yeah,
that was another thing that he said. I'm like,
yeah, because that's always a difficult question for him to ask. I said, God created everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah. I'm like, so everything, from the trees to the objects to everything, yeah. I'm like, so God created homosexuality. They're like, no, that's not. I'm like, but I could read to you from Mark. I believe it's Mark 3:15 or something like that. I, the Lord God, create good and evil. I, the Lord God, do all these things. So he's telling you himself. He's the one who does it. Mm-hmm. So what you mean? He didn't create it. But it's bro, they can't, when you use it.
And you'll ask them too, like, yo, you'll ask them, like, yo, you think homosexuality is a bad thing? And they'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then.
So why God put it here for it to even be an option?
You got it. Like,
that's when they hit you with it's free will.
And listen, don't get me wrong. We don't have, just because we don't agree with something doesn't necessarily mean you can't, be who you are.
Yeah,
and love who you love. It's nothing against that.
Of course.
I'm just saying that's how they were, bringing up the argument, trying to make the argument. Yeah. And it wasn't, it wasn't a good argument.
Yeah, love who you love.
Bro, but they tried to make it,
But that's them though. We don't.
It's really ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
The arguments they tried to make. Then they said that we only got free because we used the Bible. I said, hold on.
We were already into it with the Bible. When
That's the best point. Like Reggie made. I was like,
I told them that.
I'm like, how was it because of the Bible that we got free? But we were already in the religion. We were already
into it.
Like subscribed to it. So what do you mean? It just happened late? Or we late, you know?
You see, he was flip flopping the whole time, bro. He could have, and at the end, he was like, "Yo, just get out my
Yeah, I told him,
neighborhood."
get out my neighborhood, white man. Don't just leave. Like, you set up a prayer station in my neighborhood, a neighborhood of African descent. I don't use the term Latino or Spanish because I'm not Spanish. I'm not a language, and I'm not Spaniard. I didn't create the language. The language isn't mine. So
Nor are you from Spain.
yeah, and I'm not a Latino because I'm not from Latin America. So I'll take Caribbean. You won't call me Caribbean, but it's an Afro-Caribbean descended community, and they're in my neighborhood spewing nonsense. I won't allow it. And when I bring up the misogyny, he goes, "That's a hard question for every Christian."
Why
So
is it?
why? Yeah, it's the word of God. Oh no, but it's inspired. So is it inspired or is it the word?
Yeah, like he couldn't hang, bro. I don't. He couldn't.
And I told them, bring me, because I would love to debate one of them. I have no problem bringing people of European descent on my platform. I'm just not gonna let them spew nonsense.
Yeah.
Once they start spewing nonsense, I'm gonna embarrass them. Because we need to stand on the shoulders of our ancestors.
Yeah.
And make sure that our ancestors' names are protected. That's why I go so hard for Kemet. That's why I go so hard for West Africa, South Africa.
The whole continent as a whole.
Yeah, the continent as a whole. And our ancestors who died on this soil, and our ancestors who died on the soil of the Caribbeans. The ones who were massacred, the ones who used to throw their own children off the ship, just so they would be able to because they thought that death was better than that. But I think we could start closing because it was a good conversation, that like a good presentation. We touched on a lot of things.
That was great.
Wasn't that long, but we're gonna do. Eventually, I'm gonna have bigger panels. I'm working on getting better equipment, so the quality and the effort will be more, because I put a lot of effort into it now, but I want to do.
Yeah, we've been doing
I'm
this
trying to put this
for 3 years
information out
already.
there. Yeah,
It's
but-
4K education, so it needs to be in 4K quality,
yeah, I'm
man.
trying to make sure That's why I say always shout out to Sanetta, and I'm gonna get him on the platform.
Just
Watch.
wait on it. Just wait
Yeah.
on it. Just wait on it.
But-
Shout out Sonetta.
because he's a big influence on why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Shout out Dr. Ben.
And before we close, let's touch on this.
Shout out Jabari.
How are we gonna bring back these types of lectures right here? Cause Sanetta does it, but I'm trying to bring them back on a larger scale. The Dr. Ben lectures like this, where we group up and we're able to talk to each other, because the European never thought that we would be able to be in this situation right here, talking amongst each other for solutions in our community. So like, what y'all think?
Nah, definitely, like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our ancestors, like, they were the ones who actually took the risk of freeing us in the end, and they like you said, bro, like, our parents' wish is for their children to, like, have a better life, a better future than they had, exactly. So it's like, that's exactly what our ancestors, like, thought at that time. At that point in time, they were like, nah, like, I know this isn't the life that I want my grandchild or my, my children to have, But yeah, I feel like it's definitely important to, like, bring this up, because a lot of people don't really, like, get the psychosis and everything that really goes into that. And it's like so much for them to process that.
That's why even me, I would do lectures. I do a presentation like that. I have no problem, especially speaking in front of my people.
For sure.
I would love it, and I know it's gonna happen. I'm gonna be there one day. But I just say we have to bring it back and support the elders we have now.
Exactly.
You know.
Hey man, that next podcast I'm thinking about challenging you, man. I'm gonna challenge you.
On what?
On what?
on the pyramids. I'm gonna go deep into the murky waters with you. Yeah, but because hey, I'm being honest. You know my side of what I think, and it's not because no damn white man gibberish. But I do have y'all find out on the next podcast. Y'all gonna see. I might get shut down. I might leave Josh flabbergasted. We'll see. But we're gonna
shut down.
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna see that.
But family, y'all wanna close? Go ahead, Austin. You can close.
Hey, y'all already know. Always an honor being here. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast as much as we did.
Yeah, because it's always,
it was a great podcast. It was a great conversation going on. Great presentation, by the way, too.
Yeah.
And great job, Reggie.
Great job to you too.
Great jobs all around. Nice pat on the back. And you guys can take it off.
Yeah, okay, I'm always honest. Be here, man. I'm gonna let you close it out. Like always.
Yeah, bro. This is something we take very seriously, and I'm trying to get we want to do a panel on Haitian, on the Haitian Revolution, and go deep into the Haitian Revolution. I want Bookman there. I want a few of my other Haitian friends there. So I'm trying to put that together. I'm gonna have that for you guys soon. I got different podcasts in the works with artists because I don't want this to just be a history, thing. I want to be able to give our people a platform to talk, to do whatever they do. If you're a musician, you want to come on, let me know.
An athlete,
we could build on
architect.
That's your brick. Yeah, that's your brick. Because that's why I say
Artist,
about nation
whatever.
building. If it's about your brick. If your brick is math, we talk
Technician.
about your good stuff.
Science,
Because we need people to teach in our communities. But family, I appreciate you. This has been See Right Through Podcast. Peace and Black Power.
Peace and love power to you all, man.